Gains of Nigeria-China relations in focus as President Muhammadu Buhari visits China to strengthen ties. Just as Vice President Yemi Osinbajo assures Nigerians of the present administration's commitment on good governance. Plus, Information and Culture Minister debunks reports of Boko Haram demanding ransom for the abducted Chibok schoolgirls. These and more on today's NTA News Panorama with me, Isaac Kunkuma, and it's nice to have you join us. President Muhammadu Buhari has left Abuja for an official visit to the People's Republic of China. The State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports that the president, accompanied by some governors and members of the Federal Executive Council, departed Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport at about 7:30 p.m. on Sunday evening. Meanwhile, President Buhari has arrived in Beijing for an official visit to the People's Republic of China. While in Beijing, President Buhari is expected to hold talks with Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping and other senior government officials aimed at securing greater support for the development of Nigeria's infrastructure. This is aimed at enhancing the nation's power, roads, railways, aviation, water supply and housing sectors. During the visit, several new arrangements and memorandum of understanding are expected to be finalized between the two countries and signed for implementation. And before this time, the Nigerian embassy officials in Beijing did some finishing touches to arrangements for a successful visit to China by President Muhammadu Buhari. Julieta Aina has the reports.
Working around the clock, Nigerian embassy officials and some of the advanced party from Nigeria are dotting the I's and crossing the T's in anticipation of Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari's arrival in China on the 11th of April.
Mr. President enjoys tremendous goodwill in this country. In my official interactions with both the government and the business environment, they always tell me that they are fully in support of His Excellency President Muhammadu Buhari's leadership in Nigeria.
Though President Buhari and Chinese President Xi Jinping have met twice already in international forums, this high-level exchange is full of expectations on both sides.
I can assure you that this visit will have a huge impact on development in Nigeria. China, as you know, is also a major economic power. Nigeria has the largest market in Africa. Nigeria is also an economic power in Africa. These are two economic powers, regional powers, coming together.
The Nigerian president's state visit is meant to advance and leverage on the good relations between Nigeria and China and enhance economic cooperation for the diversification of the Nigerian economy, particularly in agriculture and solid minerals development.
To secure support for infrastructural development, especially in power, housing, rail, roads, and dams. To secure concrete economic and technical support to fight against insecurity and insurgency. To further promote private sector engagement under the auspices of Chinese People's Association for Friendship with foreign countries. And lastly, to obtain commitment for Mr. President's anti-corruption drive.
Standing majestically opposite the embassy building, the ambassador's residence containing 9 rooms, 3 sitting rooms and 2 halls has been completed, set to be commissioned by the president.
It reflects positively on the image of Nigeria. It reflects on our leadership also in Africa and in the world at large. It reduces the cost of rent. We rent properties, and it's also it's in the case permanence in our relationship. It will further enhance our cooperation.
Mr. President has a busy schedule in Beijing before traveling to Shanghai and then Guangzhou, where he will spend 1 day each consolidating economic and agricultural benefits for Nigeria. From Beijing, China, Julieta Aina, NTA News.
Enhancing bilateral relations, political and mutual trust are some of the topical issues that are expected to dominate discussions between President Muhammadu Buhari and his Chinese counterpart while in China. In this report, Adebola Brooksland Sunday takes a look at the benefits inherent in the high-level meeting between the two countries.
The bilateral relations between Nigeria and China dates back to more than 3 decades, which have expanded on growing bilateral trade and strategic cooperation, a relationship that was formally established in 1971. China is considered to be one of Nigeria's biggest trading and export partners, with trade volume which has jacked up from $384 million in 1998 to $3 billion in 2006. President Muhammadu Buhari's visit is his first as a president and the first African leader to visit China after the 2015 Forum on China-African Cooperation Summit in South Africa. Minister of Science and Technology Ogbonnaya Onu, who was recently in China, is part of the entourage of President Buhari.
A presidential visit is a very big thing in global diplomacy. So the physical presence of our president, who is highly regarded all over the world, will do a lot of good.
The two countries may be far apart and separated by vast oceans. Dr. Onu said, distance is not a barrier.
This visit will achieve a lot for Nigeria.
While in China, President Muhammadu Buhari will secure greater support from Beijing for the development of Nigeria's infrastructure in power, roads, railway, among others, in line with the federal government's agenda for rapid diversification of the nation's economy, with emphasis on solid mineral development and agriculture. The visit to China by President Muhammadu Buhari is on invitation of the Chinese President Xi Jinping. Adebola Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
In the meantime, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has reiterated the determination of the Buhari administration to deliver on all its campaign promises towards ensuring a better life for all Nigerians. The Vice President was speaking in Kano at the foundation laying ceremony for the construction of affordable housing units for low and medium income earners. State House correspondent Jide Onifade has the details.
It was a rousing welcome for Vice President Yemi Osinbajo as he arrived Kano to sympathize with the people over the loss of goods worth billions of naira in the fire that gutted the Sabongeri market and other market fire incidents in the state. The Vice President, accompanied by State Governor Abdullahi Ganduje, promised that the market will be rebuilt and affected traders assisted.
You know the President. You know he's a truthful man, he's an honest man, and he will always tell you the truth. With that, we will make sure that what we have, we will provide and support you with what we have. Where I come from, the people say that when the king's house is burnt, it means that he's going to build a better house. He will build a better place. Now that this place is burnt, we are going to build a better place, a better market. We must work together to make this state great and to make our country great. Thank you. Thank you very much. God bless you.
The Vice President, who was in Kano on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, also visited the Emir of Kano, Sanusi Lamido Sanusi, before laying the foundation for a housing project by the state government.
It's okay to build houses for the middle class, houses that only a few people can afford. But the vast majority of our people cannot pay for their own houses. They cannot pay the kind of money that it costs to build a house. This is why government's intervention is so important.
Jide Onifade, NTA News.
A secretary to the government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal, has inaugurated the removal of invasive species of typhoid grass across the Kumadugu-Yobe River Channel and 115 hectares of simplified irrigation system in Unguru, Yobe State. The project, covering 4 council areas in the state, was sponsored by the Presidential Initiative for the Northeast to invigorate its economy and improve the people's lives. Mustafa Yusuf Musa tells us more.
Presented by Senior Special Assistant on Political Matters, Mr. Gideon Samani, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Babachir David Lawal, stated that the devastating effects of the taifa grass along Komodugu water channel has in recent years deprived large number of people from fishing and dry season farming. In this regard, the Presidential Initiative for the Northeast sponsored the removal of taifa grass in collaboration with communities along the river channel so as to open ways and enhance their means of livelihood. To further encourage the communities, Secretary to the Government of the Federation presented 14 engine boats, 28 local-made canoes, in addition to 115 pumping machines to support irrigation farming in the area.
We should first clear this terrible grass so that it will avail the farmers the place for irrigation, and the water will flow for the fishing and other irrigational activities.
We have controls working in Adamawa, Gaya, so many places. They are all over. We are rehabilitating over 65 schools in the northeast currently.
Over 165 kilometers on the river was cleared of the taifa grass in the Maturu. Mustafa Musa, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Presidential Committee on Flood Relief and Rehabilitation in Nigeria has flagged off the distribution of relief materials for the 2015 victims of flood disaster in Kwara State. Abdullahi Elewetu reports that Senior Special Advisor to Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed on Emergency and Relief Services, Alhaji Duro Mohammed, received the materials on behalf of the state government.
Items to be distributed include bags of rice, mattresses, zinc, cement, drugs, and mosquito nets, among others. Chairman of the committee, Alhaji Aliko Dangote, represented by Alhaji Gali Humar, said Nigerian government is determined to ensure that victims of flood disaster receive meaningful support from the government.
That's why we are here today, to hand over those relief materials, which included food and non-food items, to the State Emergency Management for onward distribution to the affected victims.
The Senior Special Assistant to Kwara State Governor on Emergency and Relief Services, Alhaji Duro Mohammed, appreciated the federal government for the kind gesture. He noted that the state government is working round the clock to support the federal government's drive in alleviating the sufferings of the less privileged. In Iloni, Abdullahi Elewetu, NTA News.
And to politics now, the chairman and councillorship elections, which held across the 6 area councils of the Capital Territory, were generally adjudged as peaceful in spite of voter apathy in some centres. Mitaire Ikben reports that the FCT Independent National Electoral Commission has, however, rescheduled for today the election in Gwagwa Ward in Abuja Municipal Area Council due to malfunctioning card reader, and also in Dabi polling unit in Pai Ward of Kwali Area Council following the disappearance of some sensitive materials.
From Abaji to Abuja Municipal, Buhari, Gwagwalada, Kuje and Kwali, FCT residents voted for candidates of their choice, applauding INEC for facilitating the peaceful conduct of the polls by ensuring that accreditation and voting are done simultaneously.
I'm impressed with their performance.
It has been wonderful. Since morning we came here, it's been peaceful.
FCT INEC officials speak on the 2 ward elections rescheduled for Sunday.
Like in the Gwagwa, where the card reader did not work. We are making arrangements for them to come back tomorrow and vote. We don't want people to be disenfranchised.
In Dabi, in Pai Ward of Kwali Area Council, some of the materials, particularly ballot papers, which are very sensitive, were missing. It's safer to reschedule these elections for tomorrow.
Security personnel ensured orderly conduct of the polls, which were, however, characterized by cases of voter apathy.
Some of them must have traveled out of the town, and some maybe do not stay within the town or had registered elsewhere. But I think with time, people will continue to appreciate the importance of democracy.
Collation and counting of votes are ongoing, with results expected to be announced at the area councils. In Abuja, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
You're watching Panorama on the network service of the NTA. Let's pause for some messages now. More reports shortly.
The struggle for independence had been a long and tough one. Our founding fathers and compatriots sacrificed their comfort and even shed their blood. We cannot at this point in history afford to spirit away their sacrifices for immediate but temporary gains of today. Let us emphasize what unites and not what divides us. Working for the unity of purpose with a stronger vision for a better tomorrow. NTA, growing with the nation.
Together, no matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together. Let's stop fighting each other. Let us live as one. It doesn't matter where you come from, your tribe or religion, man, woman or child. It doesn't matter who you are. Put Nigeria first. No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
How can we develop when we're always in crisis? Families have become refugees in their country. No matter our differences, show some understanding.
No matter where you come from, no matter your religion, we are one. Let's live together.
Nigeria, the only country we can train with remarkable potentials to excel. Let us believe in ourselves and change our attitude for the sake of our country and generations unborn. Let us revive our cultural values, which are our essence as a nation. Let us renew the spirit of patriotism and hope in our dear country. Do not take or give bribe. Be punctual always. No more African time. We can't expect to be global citizens and operate on African time. Join the queue. Insist that people are attended to on a first-come basis, no matter who they are or where they come from.
Nigeria, good people, great nation.
Thanks for staying with us. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed has denied media reports that the Islamist militant group Boko Haram is demanding $50 million from the government as ransom before releasing the abducted Chibok schoolgirls. The minister says President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to do all he can to ensure the release of the schoolgirls following his recent meeting with parents of the abducted girls at the presidential villa in the federal capital, Abuja. He said ransom reports are not new in an interview with the Voice of America. Lai Mohammed said the accusations that the Buhari administration appears not to be doing enough to secure the release of the more than 200 Chibok schoolgirls is not fair. He added that the administration has technically defeated Boko Haram, but critics say the militants' continued attacks on unarmed civilians, including the use of suicide bombers, shows Boko Haram remains potent despite the government's reports. However, the truth of the matter, he said, is that it's not a matter that the government is taking lightly. Those who want a daily report on what efforts are being made on security must follow due process, he said. Lai Mohammed continued and said, maintained that Nigeria's military has been able to wrestle control of territories previously under the control of the Boko Haram insurgents. He also said the militants have been dislodged from their fortresses, including their main operation center in Sambisa Forest, and that government has moved on from that and is now concentrating very much on the rehabilitation and resettlement of those who are displaced. And to judicial matters now. 5 former staff of the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital have been arraigned before a federal high court for allegedly defrauding the hospital to the tune of over 140 million naira. Haman Jabani has the reports.
They were arraigned before the court by Economic and Financial Crime Commission for fraud, forgery, and diversion of money to the tune of over 140 million naira between 2008 and 2011, when the accused were working with the Finance Department of the University of Maiduguri Teaching Hospital. They were alleged to have obtained money under false pretense for the coffers of the teaching hospital, with the intention to defraud it, masterminded and conceal the payment of monies punishable under Section 1, Subsection 3 of the Advanced Free Fraud and Other Fraud-Related Offences Act No. 14 of 2006.
And the case we have had today, they have been arraigned.
There are different cases altogether, being duly arraigned, and the court ordered for them to be remanded in prison custody, pending which the case shall continue.
All the accused pleaded not guilty of all the charges, and the presiding judge, Justice Mohammed Tanko Salihu, denied them bail and directed that they be remanded in prison custody. In Maiduguri, Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Heroin worth 337 million naira has been intercepted by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Kano. Muhammad Rabi Ali reports.
The operation was carried out following an inward examination and clearance of a luggage on Ethiopian airline flight from Addis Ababa intercepted 10.6 kilograms of high-grade pure heroin worth 200 million naira. Commander of the agency in Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Ambrose Umaru, says the exhibit, which originated from Maputo, Mozambique, en route Addis Ababa to Kano, was concealed on an 8 submersible water pump machines inside 2 cartons wrapped with Vodacom transparent cell phone leather. Also, he says, a total of 93 kilograms of narcotic drugs consisting of 22 kilograms of methamphetamine worth 66 million naira and 71 kilograms of ephedrine worth 71 million naira concealed in cartons of pressing irons mixed with hair attachments were also seized by the command.
This year alone, we have been able to record 2 spectacular convictions.
From Kano, Muhammad Rabi Ali, NTA News.
And to health matters now. Prevention of mosquito bites is the only way to avoid malaria and reduce deaths caused by the disease. This assertion was at the Interfaith Malaria Prevention and Sensitization Program launched in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. Evelyn Badu Ekbo has the report.
Malaria, an endemic disease without border, affects both children and adults, especially in the tropical African countries. Therefore, the reasons for the prevention of malaria and creation of awareness cannot be far-fetched going by the number of deaths caused by malaria in Nigeria. The Executive Director, Nigeria Interfaith on Malaria Prevention, Bishop Sunday Onoha, says the platform established by both Christian and Muslim community is to create awareness on malaria prevention and reduce deaths associated with the disease. The representative of Akwa Ibom State Government and Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health, eulogized the group, noting that the approach of sensitizing the congregation will ensure wider reach of malaria preventive measures, as many belong to one religious organization or the other. Different preventive measures were displayed to avoid mosquito bites. In Uyo, Evelyn Badu Ekpo, NTA News.
Apologies for the loss of audio in some parts of that report. Now talking sports, Nigeria to take part in the rowing event of the Rio 2016 Olympic Games as roller sports is formally recognized by the Nigerian Olympic Committee. Plus, Nigerian-born Anthony Joshua wins World Heavyweight Boxing title and Manny Pacquiao retires in glory. Henry Efium has details in our sports update.
2 athletes have qualified to represent the country in the rowing and canoeing events of the upcoming 2016 Olympic Games in Rio. They are Jonathan Akinyemi and Cherika Ukogu, who are currently under the scholarship of the International Olympic Committee, IOC, where they'll receive training to adequately prepare them for the Games.
There are some activities, we're going to have training courses in Germany, in Britain, and in Africa. So I hope they're going to do very well.
Rear Admiral Kwabeni, it was revealed, has also been elected the Federation's Vice President in Africa. A 1-week solidarity course for coaches organized by the NOC in collaboration with the Federation is currently taking place in Lagos. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Olympic Committee, NOC, has formally inaugurated the Roller Sports Federation as an official body under the Nigerian Olympic family. NOC President Habu Gumel, who was represented by the Secretary Tunde Popola, while inaugurating the 12-man executive arm, charged the new federation to ensure team spirit, discipline and all the values of the Olympics in running the affairs of the federation.
We have to step in. It's a responsibility of the NOC to see that things are run properly.
The Olympics is our major target.
Ikoyi Club has emerged overall champions at the maiden edition of the Ikoyi Club International Badminton Tournament, which wrapped up Saturday in Lagos. 56 players from 7 Nigerian club sides and 1 from Ghana featured in the 2-day event in 3 categories.
What we are trying to do, whilst trying to develop it, we're also trying to popularize it. So this is really a step in that direction.
And it was business as usual for Nigerian-born British boxer Anthony Ayodele Joshua when he claimed the IBF World Heavyweight title at the expense of American Charles Barton at the London O2 Arena. The 26-year-old Olympic gold medalist did the business inside 2 rounds, dropping Martin twice in the middle of the second round. It was only Joshua's 16th professional fight with knockouts in all. He is now Britain's 6th bona fide heavyweight champion and just the 4th man to win a pro heavyweight world title while still a reigning Olympic champion. The fight was Martin's first title defense. Meanwhile, multiple champion and legendary boxer Manny Pacquiao of the Philippines ended his career on a high when he outclassed Timothy Bradley Jr. at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. Pacquiao won the welterweight bout in a unanimous decision after Bradley had gone down twice in the course of the bout but managed to survive till the end of the fight. Pacquiao, 37, says he's going into full-time politics now in his homeland back in the Philippines.
Decided that and commitment to my family that after this fight I'm going to go back home and spend more time with them and focus to help the people, serve the people in the Philippines.
And the Nigerian Professional League continued this weekend with Heartland recording a hard-fought 2-1 victory over Rivers United in Owerri. In some of the other results, Rangers pipped Ifa Yuba 1-0, Aqua United 2, Tornadoes 0, Kano Pillars 2, Nasarawa United 1, while Warri Wolves beat MFM by a lone goal. With Sports Update, Henry Efium, NTA News.
And that does it on Panorama. More reports on Nationwide if you stay with us. Good afternoon.